Coming up on Good Morning Waverly, we're here at Rada Cutlery to show you how to make a delicious Thanksgiving treat for your family.
And what is Rada Cutlery? We'll go behind the scenes to tell you about this American-made company and how they're preparing for the Christmas season.
And later, find out about a local nature photographer and how he plans to continue work throughout the winter despite freezing temperatures.
And finally, after we give you tips for preparing a Thanksgiving dish, learn how you can give back to those less fortunate this holiday season.
Happy Friday and Good Morning Waverly.
Good morning, Waverly, and welcome to our special Thanksgiving show filmed on location at Rada Cutlery here in Waverly. I'm Jacqueline Schutte.
And I'm Kelsey Bemis. You'll look at this American-made company in just a moment, but we are joined by a special guest today, Chef Blake Landau from the Waverly Centennial Oaks Golf Club.
Now, Chef Blake, can you show us a little bit of what we'll be doing later in the show?
Yeah, we got Cornish game hens here. We're going to stuff them with a stuffing, a basic stuffing, and then we're going to truss it up and roast it.
Okay, and why is it that you chose to make these specifically for the show?
Well, a little bit of a sentimental value. They're fun because when I was little, my grandmother, she made us Cornish game hens. Each one of us had our own little bird. So we had our own wishbone, we had our own dark and light meats. So it's kind of nice. I like it.
And our Thanksgiving special is being filmed on location from the Rada Cutlery Test Kitchen.
Now we wanted to give you an inside look at this American-made company and show you how they prepare for their busiest time of the year, the holiday season. Knives, cookbooks, and candles. Just a few of the products produced at Rada Manufacturing Company. The company started in 1948 and has been making all its products here in Waverly ever since. Rada President Gary Nelson says the location of the company contributes to its success.
The American-made theme is growing. We're finding more and more customer comments that are directly aimed at us for the fact that we're American-made.
Currently, the company is preparing for its busiest time of the year, Christmas.
During our peak season, we can have as many as 3,000 packages go out of here on a given day. During the first 9-10 months of the year, it probably averages more between 300 and 600 packages a day.
Preparation for Christmas begins at the beginning of the year. Nelson says the company sets a goal to produce a certain amount of products each day, every day, all year long.
We physically can't produce at the same level that we sell. So we have to make a sales forecast at the beginning of the year, and as an example, this year we come up with an estimate that we need to produce about 18,000 knives a day in order to meet the fall rush.
In addition to the challenges of preparing for the season, Nelson says there's also the added challenge of the changing times. With the benefit of technology, orders are now able to be shipped sooner and customers expect faster turnaround times. He says that when he first came to Rada 33 years ago, the busiest day of the year for shipping was the third Monday in November, but this has changed.
It ended up being the Monday before Thanksgiving, then it became the Monday after Thanksgiving, then it became the first Monday in December, and now our busiest day of the year is the second Monday of December.
The company plans ahead and increases workers around the holidays, but Nelson says they mostly have to rely on their intuition to make it through the seasonal rush.
We kind of hang on for dear life and hope we predicted correctly that we'll make it through the Christmas season and that we've produced what is going to be adequate to fill the orders.
Coming up after the break, we'll start cooking. Chef Blake will show us the beginning steps to making that Cornish hen.
Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. Now, to begin, can you kind of explain how we make the stuffing? Is that correct, what we're starting with?
Yep. The stuffing we have on our saute pan back here, we have onions and celery started with a little bit of butter, actually quite a bit of butter there. Butter's the good flavor part, so. But what we'll do is we'll get that sweated out. That took quite a bit of time, and I had that already started. One thing that I like to add, and my mother too, is a little bit of sage to it. And where you're using dry sage, you can use fresh sage. You want to season it with salt and pepper. And then chicken stock. You want it to be real moist.
And now you mentioned that takes a little while. What's the overall preparation time, or what should someone be prepared for this whole thing?
The whole process with the bird, probably about an hour and a half or so, give or take. Okay. But you know, each chicken is a different size, so it really depends on how big the bird is for how long it takes to cook.
Okay.
And this stuffing looks like a little bit different than your normal bread. What does this come?
This one is a swirl rye with a French baguette bread, dry out.
Does that give it a little different flavor? Or?
Yeah, actually, the rye is really good. It adds a lot of good complexity to it. But yeah, we can use wheat, white, and rye all together. I recommend at least some rye and white. So.
And that's just for Cornish hens, or is that for all kind of
Yeah,
birds you cook?
turkey, chicken, duck. I guess if you wanted to do that, yeah, any. So.
Okay, and then what's our next step here?
Our next step would be, once we get this hot, we're going to pour it into the breadcrumbs. You want to be able to saturate those crumbs. So if you want, start stirring that in there.
All right. And I know you said you have to start more like a folding motion.
Well, just, yeah.
What happens if I do it wrong?
I think it's more about the efficiency aspect of it. If you fold it, it might just incorporate a little bit better.
Okay.
So yeah, that looks good.
Yes.
You don't want to stir it too much and get it too mushy.
Actually, that doesn't matter. It's fine. It'll end up mushing up in the whole cooking process after it's sitting inside the bird for a little while. So.
Is the stuffing just kind of a bag mix you get, or is old bread lying around?
That's highly recommend just taking used or your old bread and using that rather than purchasing more. That's really where it came from, is to be able to utilize the stuff that you're not going to normally use. So.
Save a little money that way too.
Yeah.
I bet.
So yeah, we can put that stuffing actually in the bird. And these Cornish game hens are about a pound. And what I do is I clip off just the ends here, and that releases, instead of having the blood from the chicken or the bone marrow go into the meat, it comes out here. So we'll take.
And why is that important? That it.
Just sometimes it's unpleasant for people to look at blood inside their meat.
And then now these specific, where would you recommend you buy or purchase these?
Chickens?
Yeah, these size.
You can get these anywhere, really. But if you can find them locally, that's the best place. And you want natural. You don't want to buy the ones that are massed, raised in confined animal feeding operations, So these are all natural birds.
Is there a big taste difference with that?
Yes. Yeah, actually it's very considerable. The juiciness, the texture of the meat, all around is a lot better.
And you kind of use a spoon to scoop it in. That's the best, easiest way to do it instead of...
Well, you can take your hands, but this is like perfect to shovel it in there. So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
We're going to take a short break now, but we will return shortly with more tips for preparing a tasty holiday treat.
And with the holidays comes cold weather, but that won't be stopping one Waverly nature photographer. Learn how the Ladagis prepare for the below zero temperatures. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. Now Chef Blake is going to show us how to truss these Cornish hens.
Yes, we got the stuffing on it or in it already. Before I truss it, I wanted to separate the skin from the meat, and we'll take some whole butter. If you use unsalted butter, then you would want to salt it a little bit. If you use salted butter, then don't add salt. But specifies on the box when you're at the store.
And trussing, that's just, can you explain quick kind of what that is?
The trussing is tying it together, like we have the other one. Basically, if you're to roast it like this, the wings would cook first, the legs would cook first, so it would dry out by the time that the breast is actually fully cooked. So you tie it up, and it pulls it together and it cooks as one. So got a little bit of butter in there just for moisture and flavor. Fat and flavor.
And if you wanted to make it a little healthier, could you omit the butter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Might not taste as good, but...
Yeah, the butter is definitely good flavor.
And what would be kind of an alternate? Just
oil of some sort of fat, I guess. It creates moisture. It makes it juicy. So what I'll do is take the string, go on the inside of the neck. I folded the tips on the back side like it's relaxing, and then you just come across like so. Follow the breast, cross over, bring the legs up, and then kind of tie a knot. Try to get right in there.
Now, is this something for this specific meal? Would you do this with other birds?
Birds,
or
absolutely, yeah. This is anytime you're roasting a chicken. You can either seal up by going around the tail and closing it up a little bit. Lost it there. No big deal.
Is that something that's really hard to do? I know you're making it look really easy.
Yeah, it gets kind of tricky for some people who've never done it before. I have done it quite a bit of times, and there's many different ways of doing it. The real goal is to get it bound together so it's nice and tight. You can use, they make bands. They make things that simplify that process. But
now you just use string, I guess. What other things, you mentioned the band, but what other things?
I would keep it pretty simple. Keep it to butcher's twine. And you can find that at the markets or the kitchen stores in the area. But yeah. So now we have this trussed. We have it stuffed. We have our pan, our roasting pan, and we'll put it in there. And then what I like to do is add a little bit of salt on top, season it, and maybe brush it with a little bit more butter or a little bit of oil, corn oil, light extra virgin olive oil, or whatever you'd like. So,
And in this pan here, you have some celery, carrots, onions.
basic mirepoix, which is onions, carrots, and celery, and then we got some baby multicolored potatoes just for fun. They are park hooked. The potatoes they're boiled, so when they're in the oven roasting, you don't have to worry about cooking those fully. The chicken will be done before the uncooked potatoes probably would be.
And you mentioned the multicolored. What are the purple ones? What's that color?
Just a different breed of potato, and yeah, they're fun. They're just different colors. You can mash them up and add some red wine to them and make them a burgundy mashed potato, or just like the reds too are kind of fun, but still white inside.
Where do you find those?
That depends, I guess, on the person that the grocery store that would carry it, the purchaser. I found it at our local grocery market, but local farmers sometimes have it too.
And now that you've kind of explained how to prepare it, can you walk through the steps of putting it in the oven and the temperature and things for that?
Yeah, we have an oven set at 450 degrees. I like to start it out hot, so that way I cook almost anything in the oven. I start out at a really hot temperature. As soon as I put it in the oven, I drop it down. So that kind of gives it good browning, even cooking, rather than if you put it in a 325 degree oven, it will brown on some parts, but the other parts won't. So I'm going to salt it just a little bit. I'm using a kosher salt. I know it looks like a lot, but actually it's very mild in saltiness. And we're going to put it in this 450 degree oven. Try to keep it in the center of the oven, complete center. We're just going to drop it down to 325 degrees.
Now, as we're getting ready for colder weather, one photographer is doing so as well.
Kip Ladegi and his wife Christina are nature photographers who brave all elements for that perfect shot.
During the fall season, you might see hunters out shooting deer and pheasants, but this hunter is shooting something different. Pictures. Kip Ladegi owns his own photography business that started with portraits, but turned into nature photography.
There's just something about being in the outdoors where I can relax, I can unwind, and it doesn't matter how stressful my day has been, it doesn't matter how challenging. If I get out and get to spend some time shooting photos, it's like that stuff just all goes away.
His photography hobby did start with hunting, though.
So I started carrying a camera in one hand and a bow in the other hand, and I soon found out that you can't take both out there and do either one of them very well.
The secret to good pictures?
To shoot a lot of these pictures is just patience, lots and lots of patience. You find the species, you kind of get an idea where they're at, and then you just work the opportunities.
In fact, this shot took 3 to 4 hours a night, 5 nights a week, for 9 weeks. And Ladegi goes out in all kinds of weather to get that perfect pose.
I'll be the guy that's out there driving the highways during a blizzard.
Preparing for the winter season mostly involves his wardrobe, a majority of which you might see on shows like Duck Dynasty.
I tell my wife and my kids I dress for function, not for fashion, and that's why quite often they think I should be on the show, what not to wear.
And as we get into Thanksgiving season, Ladegi has something he's definitely thankful for.
Here in Bremer County in northeast Iowa, we are so blessed because you look around, we've got green spaces, we've got rivers, we've got upland timber, we've got so much here that whatever I decide I want to do that day, I don't have to drive too far and I can be out there. So yeah, I'm really thankful.
Kip and his wife have been shooting photos for over 30 years and have more than 205,000 pictures in all kinds of weather.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, Chef Blake will continue with his demonstration of how to make Cornish hens this Thanksgiving. Welcome back to Good Morning Waverly. Now our hens have finished cooking, so would you like to kind of pull those out for us?
See how those turned out.
And how do you know when they're done?
Well, each chicken's different, so it's not a matter of time. It's a matter of making sure that they're fully cooked in the middle. One thing is when the juices start to seep out clear, as well as you can take a thermometer and go in parallel with the bone all the way up. 165 minimum. A lot of people and even packages will say 180, but 165 is that temperature that kills salmonella poisoning, if there's any, which there's not. You'd be able to tell. So buy it fresh and buy it local, and you won't have an issue with that.
And now,
And then what is else good to serve with this for your Thanksgiving meal?
Well, you know, I mean, what I do on all my plates, I always have a protein, a starch, and a vegetable. So you can use any type of vegetables, any type of starches, of whatever your family prefers, you know. But, you know, like I said, I've got carrot, celery, and onion in here. You know, that's something. Otherwise, you can do glazed carrots. It's a good seasonal one. Some squash. Yeah. Mashed potatoes. That's always good. Got to have some cranberry sauce.
all right, and kind of just for the viewers, can we kind of get this set up on our...
Yeah, sure. I'll grab a spoon here. What I would do is, I probably would cut the string off for the person, whoever's eating it.
These are an alternative to turkey. What else might be something, you know, if your family always has turkey, and maybe a different alternative?
Turduckins. Where you take a turkey, a chicken, and a duck. You stuff the chicken in the duck, and then you can stuff the duck and the chicken in the turkey. That's kind of a
Sounds
classic.
a little complex.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, a lot of farmers, or a lot of hunters do it, you know.
Is that something you've cooked before?
Oh yeah, yeah, we've done that before.
Now, do you do all the cooking at your family Thanksgiving?
No, but one year I got to invite over 30 of my family members, sat down at my restaurant, and we had one long table, family style, and it was pretty awesome. So.
And what's your favorite thing to cook?
Ooh, goodness. You can't ask me that. I like to cook everything. I really do, I guess. I don't know, that's a trick question.
All right.
Do you have some just general tips about how to make sure Thanksgiving meal, all the cooking and all the preparation goes well?
Plan ahead. You fail to plan, you plan to fail.
And what are some tips for that?
Also, yeah, like if you get the bird done in advance, 175 degrees, keeping it at that temperature in your oven is the best temperature for holding anything. You can have all your stuff done. If you can fit it in one oven at 175, it'll hold. So get it done in advance. Don't make the people wait. That's what I recommend.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thanks.
And coming up after the break, now that we've shown you how to make your own Thanksgiving treat, find out how to help those who are less fortunate. As we are celebrating with our family on this special holiday, it's important to remember those who are less fortunate.
Good Morning Waverly's Nicole Lyons tells us how the Northeast Iowa Food Bank provides meals to those people every day.
The Northeast Iowa Food Bank does a lot of work for the communities in and around the Cedar Valley. They provide food and grocery items to nonprofit organizations and people in the Northeast Iowa. According to foodbankofiowa.org, 1 out of every 6 children in Iowa are food insecure. One of the food bank's main goals is to educate the public about hunger issues.
This time of year at Thanksgiving, what we spend a lot of time doing is raising the awareness to the issue of hunger, because we're really here year-round.
The Northeast Iowa Food Bank offers a variety of programs to those in need. Volunteers are able to help with programs including helping local children. In 2004, the Northeast Iowa Food Bank began their backpack program in the Waterloo area. Now, there are more than 100 sites throughout Northeast Iowa, serving almost 3,500 kids.
Each program has different requirements. For the most part, it's a need-based program at 185% of poverty, but for the example of the backpack program, that's determined through the school.
The holidays are a time of the year when people are in the mood to give back to their communities. The food bank offers a variety of volunteer opportunities that individuals and service groups are able to partake in.
There's all kinds of different things that people can do to get involved. We have nights and weekend groups and groups that come in during the day that help us put backpacks together, help us put our elderly food bags and boxes together. They help stock shelves and sort food.
Right now, many local businesses and schools are hosting food drives for both the Northeast Iowa Food Bank and their local food pantries. During the Christmas holidays, the food bank offers a gift wrapping station at the mall.
You can always donate money, which helps us bring food in and distribute it out. And also our gift wrap event at College Square Mall. Those are probably the biggest ways that people can get involved this time of year.
Crowther says if anyone is in need of pantry services, the best way to go about it is to go through United Way's 211 system or to call the food bank. Reporting for WTV, I'm Nicole Lyons.
Volunteers are always welcome at the food bank Monday through Fridays and by schedule on Saturdays. Contact Patrick Bird by email in advance if you would like to help out.
That's all the time we have for this Thanksgiving special. We'd like to thank Chef Blake for his help creating this meal and Rada Cutlery for the use of their kitchen.
We will be returning December 13th with a special Christmas on Main show.
Thanks for watching and have a great Thanksgiving, Waverly.